me, did I just hear what I think I just heard? That the United States Supreme Court just said PPACA, also known as Obamacare, is not unconstitutional? This really has my blood boiling and just anger filling me right now. My experience working for a healthcare broker for the past few years, the instant I heard this, I thought about job security and the changing landscape of healthcare in the coming years. I'm reaching out today to let you know that Obamacare is not good for the American public. One, because they're calling a fine or penalty a tax if you don't take healthcare insurance. Two, the quality of healthcare is going to go down. And three, premiums are actually going to rise. And this is why I'm asking you to write to your congressman to try and get this bill repealed. The first thing I want to take a look at is why Obamacare isn't fair to the public because of calling a penalty a tax. In subsection 5000A of H.R. 3590, it states, "It is hereby imposed a penalty with respect to the individual in the amount determined under subsection C." This is the actual bill that was passed by Congress. Now, Feldmeyer and Hall, in their textbook Constitutional Law, Governmental Powers, and Individual Freedoms, they have a copy of the Constitution in there, and the Constitution states in Article 1, Section A, the Constitution allows Congress to collect taxes. However, Congress is not allowed to collect fines from the public. So, we're kind of had the Constitution says one thing, the bill is saying penalties. So that's why I went in front of the Supreme Court. Supreme Court obviously ruled that it's constitutional. However, if you dig a little deeper in the dissenting opinion of the Supreme Court case, the Supreme Court dissenting judges state it rules that what the statute declares to be a requirement with a penalty is instead an option with a tax. So that's, the dissenting judges are saying the majority judges who approved the bill misinterpreted the bill, which we saw the bill actually says it's a penalty, not a tax. So after looking at the taxes that's going to be imposed upon us, take a look at the quality of health care. According to Alexandra Booz, in Facts of Obamacare, 60% of doctors feel that pressure to reduce costs, increase volume, and improve quality will have a negative effect on patient care. That's over half the doctors in the United States. Well, on an interesting note, we as a nation face a shortage of primary care doctors according to procon.org. This chart shows it. We have a shortage of 91,500 and 130,600 active patient care physicians that's going to hit in 2020 and 2025. Primary care shortage of 45,400 and 65,800 physicians in the same time. Procon.org goes on to quote from Investors Business Daily, "The result will be longer wait times to see a doctor and a decline in the high quality of care Americans are accustomed to as doctors are overworked." It's not sounding like a good situation. Leanne Ott writes in Obama's health care plan, "The program is dependent on a lot of government-sponsored programs which are of little value if prohibitively low reimbursement rates and administrative hassles prevent physicians from accepting you as a patient." So nowhere in the bill does it even say the doctor has to take insurance. So you can get the insurance and the doctor can still turn you away. Where's the quality health care there? Finally, going to take a look at premiums. That seems to be a big sticking point with it as well. On procon.org, CMS states that it anticipates that these new fees and taxes, of course, will be sent down the line to the consumer in the form of higher drug costs, higher medical device prices, and higher insurance premiums, which will raise healthcare costs from $2.1 billion in 2011 to $18.2 billion in 2018. That's less than 10 years. The cost for healthcare is going to go up 9 times the amount it is now. Scott Gottlieb in Obamacare faces a death spiral, states a death spiral begins when only the sickest beneficiaries get into an insurance pool, causing the cost of medical claims to rise, which in turn premiums rise. And this is allowed because people are going to be allowed to purchase insurance outside of the exchange. So outside of the exchange, the insurance companies have different rules than inside. Outside, they can still do risk-adverse selection, so they can just take the healthiest people, which will keep those costs down. Inside the exchange, you'll just have the less healthy people, and those rates will rise. Well, Maryland already has a program like that. It's called the Maryland Health Insurance Plan. So, you know, looking at Obamacare on the surface, it sounds good, but when you dig a little bit deeper, it's not too good for the American public. Again, you're being forced to buy insurance, and if not, you have to pay a penalty, which they call a tax. Quality doctor care is going to go down. We're already facing a shortage, and now we're going to just pump even more patients into these doctors. And third is the premiums are going to rise. So, you know, this is why I'm outraged, and I want to ask you guys this question. Do you feel more comfortable buying health insurance going forward where your quality of care is going to be lower because you have overworked and underpaid doctors, and if you don't buy the health care, you're now going to have to pay a tax on it? So I look at this very lose-lose situation for us as a nation, and this is why you should go out and write to your congressman to repeal this act.